Hi, I'm Tom, and in this video I'll show you how I kitbashed an Ogryn Skullbreaker from Darktide. But first, let's get inspired.
If you want to win, strange life.
Not sure how I got here. Not sure.
An Ogryn, imprisoned for insubordination, called Karen from HR, is the best immersion choice. I'm into the narrative of this game already. By the way, this game is amazing. It's gruesome, beautiful, and grimdark. I'll be doing a kitbashing video for each of the squad from the strike team from the artwork, and I'll be making them into a diorama. I'll just show you a few clips of how awesome this game is.
Brother?
Think of it. Millions and millions of citizens, crammed together and guided in toil by the Master's servants. Paradise.
You're right in the bowels, but the best way to reach the enforcer station is from the street.
No room for sniffling.
Brained.
Get back! Barrel's gonna go!
Down, peasant.
The torrent's not exactly a work of art these days. Probably never was.
Vit! Fart sniffler. Get smited. As you can see in this clip, the game has periods of calm and then intense, epic combat. If you're like me, you've been eagerly awaiting this game to be released. When it was announced, I bought all of the models to kitbash the strike team from the posters and adverts, and I finally got around to doing it. As I said before, I'll be kitbashing the entire squad and making them into a diorama with some of the specials, poxwalkers and traitor guardian too. Unfortunately, the Ogryn kit does not have the exact pieces I need, so I'll need to do some kitbashing. The armour on the Ogryn Skullbreaker is ridged and has bolts and rivets all over it. I'll also need to sculpt the gorget around the neck. The closest one in the Ogryn kit is this armour panel here. I use one of these clubs. To keep the costs down, I built the Ogryn special character, Nork Dedog. I'll sell this on eBay and recover some of the costs for the full kit and keep all the spare bits. I built the body and legs of Ogryn 2 in the instructions. Made sure I removed any mould lines. Glued the torso. I then stuck the torso, legs and feet together. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. I cut off the armour panels and then decided this was the closest Ogryn head to match the Skullbreaker in the artwork. I then got to work on the clobbering arm. I used pink tack to stick the bits together to get a feel for the pose before I glued it. The Ogryn Skullbreaker has a chest plate with a raised ridge panel on the chest. It also has a leather strap and buckle. The chest plate here needs to be cut back as it ends around the waist of the Ogryn. I then cleaned the cut up by smoothing the edges and dusting away any plastic particles. That'll do. I then again posed it using pink tack to get a look at it. I can't see what is in the Ogryn's left hand in the poster. I'm assuming it's resting on its hip. This bit from the kit will fit perfectly. Just need to remove these bits of weapon and check the pose. That's going to work. The clobbering arm will need to be cut and shaped close enough to have a bend in it to match the artwork. It needs to be cut at this angle about here. I filled all of the gaps using green stuff. If you haven't used this before, it's a sculpting putty and it's super easy to use. I always cut out the middle bit as it's often hard. Giggity. All you do then is mix the blue and the yellow bit together until it goes green. You can dampen your fingers with a little bit of water and it mixes a lot smoother. I'm using the green stuff to fill all of the gaps because these arms aren't designed to fit like this. Pick off a chunk of green stuff, put it into the gaps. I wet it and then I smooth it out with my knife and my finger. I repeatedly check the pose and make sure it's not moved while I'm smoothing out the putty. See here, I've just wet the green stuff, spreading it into the gap, and then I smooth it out with my finger, with a wet finger. And then I cut off any excess. Both of the shoulders are going to have plates over them, so some of this will be hidden, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And then I repeated the process on the clobbering arm. Before attaching the wrist, I realised it's resting on the shoulder pad, so I'd have to sculpt this first. I used the shoulder pads from the Ogryn kit. I gently bent them to fit over the shoulders. After fitting this one, there was a protruding part on the back, so I just cut it off. When I was happy with the pose, I filled the gaps with green stuff as well. The second shoulder pad has 2 or 3 plates overlapping. And pose them like this. Any spare green stuff you have can be rolled out onto a flat surface to be used to sculpt other bits, like on top of this plasticard. Probably not best to use a knife to roll this, especially on an upside down table that I'm using as a desk, but here we are. Now on to sculpting the bolts, rivets and metal panels. To do this I'll use plasticard. Plasticard is flexible sheet plastic, and this pack I have here is probably more than I'll use in a lifetime. The sheet can be cut to whatever shape you like. It's also pliable and can also be heated up to bend to shape. The plastic rod will be cut up into small discs to make bolts and rivets. For the neck gorget, I used some thin plasticard and bent this to shape and superglued it in place. I lost the footage of this, my bad. And then on the shoulder pad here, I've measured a piece and cut a ridge in it so that it will fit over the bend of the shoulder pad. I then built these metal buckles, which are on either shoulder, where it attaches to the chest. When I was happy with it, I sanded it all down. Now that the shoulder pad was built, I could get the pose on the arm right. It was at this stage I realised I should have removed this Aquila from the chest. No bother. Bibbidi bobbidi boop. I removed the Aquila and then used the cured green stuff to sculpt a raised armour panel for the chest, and the leather strap. I'll also need to sculpt a buckle. I measured a flat piece of the green stuff to fit the chest, then cut away parts until it fit the chest area. I basically eyeballed this. It's not exactly correct, but it's close enough for the small amount of space I have on the chest panel. And the green stuff's really pliable when it's dry like this. It's like a rubber. It's easy to cut, but it's sort of pliable as well. Once I've got the shape down, I give it a bevel by sanding the edges on it. I then superglued it on. And then did some final last minute adjustments. I was constantly referring to the artwork in this. So here I'll show you how I did the bolts. You get the plastic rod, you just cut off small discs. Then put my knife into them, dip them in a bit of super glue, and put them in place. I then got to work on the leather strap and buckle on the chest. I used some of the plasticard to construct the buckle, stuck this in place, and then used the strip of green stuff to shape the strap. And then scratched it and scuffed the edges to make it look like worn leather. And there you go, that's the kit bash done. I've given it a quick paint job, which I'll show in the diorama video, and here is a sneak peek. If you like the video, please subscribe so you don't miss my other kit bashes for the rest of the squad. Please like the video, and please leave a comment on what you think of it. If you've played the game, leave me a comment of what you think of that too. If you want to support me further and see more of my behind the scenes work, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Thanks to all of my current patrons, you absolute legend. If you want to support me further, check out my video description for affiliate links that help support me by giving me a little commission on sales. Thanks for watching.